What's going on, everybody? This is Brian from SneakerFiles.com, recapping the news, and before I jump into things, like always, greatly appreciate a thumbs up, and if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. Now, as for some of the highlights in this video, we have a release date for the Air Jordan 12 flu game. As well, I have an update on the Air Jordan 10 still. Now, there's a lot more from Jordan Brand, including 2025 releases, but once again, we have a ton of news from Nike. There's also one thing from Reebok. And now, let's jump into the news. Reebok is releasing a Universal Monsters Collection, which will consist of 5 pairs of shoes inspired by different iconic horror characters. So to break down each shoe, we have the Reebok Pump Twilight Zone for Frankenstein. That pair will feature a green, black, and gray colorway. We have the Reebok Club C Mega Court for the Bride of Frankenstein, which will come dressed in black, white, and black. Then we have the Reebok Insta Pump Fury 94 Mid for the creature from the Black Lagoon. That will feature a green and black colorway. Next, we have the Reebok BB 4002 for Dracula, and this pair will feature red, black, and red. And then lastly, we have the Reebok Club C Bulk, and that will be for Wolfman, and this pair features a brown, black, and tan color combination. Now, each pair features elements inspired by the characters, and I think personally my favorite from the collection would be the Twilight Pump for Frankenstein. I think that looks the cleanest, and honestly, I'm a big fan of the model. I do like the Insta Pump Fury, but not too much of a fan of the mid and this specific colorway. But all pairs will drop on October 11th. The retail price for the Pump Twilight Zone is $180. The Club C Mega Court will cost $120. The Insta Pump Fury 94 Mid will cost $220. We have the Reebok BB 4002 priced at $130. And then lastly, we have the Reebok Club C Bulk, which will also cost you $120. Moving on to Nike, and a new colorway of the Nike LeBron 22 popped up. This one is known as Blacklight, and I'm a big fan of the colorway. I'm actually a fan of the model, and this pair features a black, lacer fuchsia, dark gray, filled purple, and guava ice color combination. Now, the inspiration isn't 100% known, but due to the nickname, I'm going to just go out on a limb here and guess that it's kind of like the colors of a blacklight. They illuminate those type of shades typically when you have a shoe under a blacklight, and the suede upper kind of looks like the felt that's used. But other than that and the first look, we do have some release details. This pair is expected to drop on December 6th, and the retail price will be $180. Information leaked a couple days ago that NOCTA would release a handful of Nike Air Max Plus collaborations in 2025. Now, other than that, there really isn't much more information, at least at that time. And then a couple days later, we received a first look at 3 upcoming colorways, and I had a lot more hope for the shoes. I thought they would look better, and again, this is just my opinion, but the 3 colorways that we have a first look at come dressed in black, gray, and then we have a pair in blue. Now, you can kind of see the Air Max Plus DNA infused into the shoe, but it does look quite different from your traditional Air Max Plus, and by the way, I'm a huge fan of that model. So instead of the wavy TPU overlays that the model is known for, the lines, they're just straight. They run straight across. And instead of the signature lacing system, they now have toggle laces. The midsole is also modified, but you can still see the Air Max Plus. And then, of course, each pair will feature NOCTA branding on the tongues and insoles. Now, we don't have specific release date information nor a price, but I'm going to go ahead and guess that they're going to drop in spring 2025 just because we do have the first look. They are expected to drop in 2025, and since the images are circulating, more than likely it will be early next year. More 2025 info popped up, and this time Patta will be collaborating with Nike once again, but it'll be on the Air Max 90, and they'll be expanding on their Waves collection. So this information came from Bubble Cope, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, on Instagram, and he was reporting that they were going to drop summer 2025. However, I talked to my sources, they said spring 2025. We don't know the specifics as far as the colorways and things like that, but they are expected to feature the same wave graphic that the Air Max 1 featured. Now, The Wave series started back in 2021 and it expanded across multiple colorways. So unfortunately, all we know is that they'll feature the Wave graphic. It'll be on the Air Max 90 and at least one colorway. It's very possible we could see more down the line. And like I mentioned, spring 2025 is when they're expected to drop. Kids of Immigrants will drop 2 colorways of the Nike Air Max Thunder. Now, a couple months back, it was announced that they were going to drop the Persian Violet pair, which we saw a first look of. I went over them in a previous video, but we now have a second colorway, which is known as Sunrise. Now, the official colorway on these is Sundial in Persian Violet, and it looks like they borrowed the color scheme from the classic Air Max Plus known as Sunrise here. As you can see, it features a red hue to yellow gradient across the base, and then we have Persian Violet on the branding and the midfoot shank plate. Instead of the mudguard and plates that run across the side, their collaboration will have a grid-like pattern. Other than that, we have black on the midsole and the rubber outsole. So, as for a release date, unfortunately, no specific one, but they are expected to drop holiday 2024, and the retail price will be $190. Yesterday, I leaked a first look at the Nike KD 18, so it's crazy that he's already on his 18th signature shoe. I remember when the KD4 was super popular. The KD3 was starting to get popular, although that's still a nice pair. But in summer 2025, we had the release of the KD18. Now, although the image used is a mock-up, it's an accurate one of what's releasing. This is what I was shown. Again, it's possible that Nike could change some things, but again, this is what I saw. Now, I don't know the upcoming colorways. This was one of the pairs shown. Unfortunately, I didn't have the color description, but I do know the retail price will also be $150. Now, some of you might be saying, hey, this pair looks familiar, and that is because the inspiration from this pair comes from the Nike Air Humara. Now, the Humara is a shoe that dropped back in 1997, and some of you may remember also that the KD17 is inspired by the Air Max Plus, and one of the colorways was also inspired by the Penny 2. So, although I don't know this part for sure, maybe this is a pair that he liked or he wore as a child back in 1997 or 98, around that time. And that is where the inspiration comes from. But I do like what they've been doing with the KD line. I like how they're grabbing inspiration from different classic models and they're telling a story. Now, I did receive some of the technology. I don't have it all, but what I was told is that the upper will feature a TPU cage, as you can see here, and then the toe box will have open mesh with suede overlays. Now, as for the cushioning, it'll have a Cushlon midsole, a dot weld heel strobel, and air zoom in the forefoot. So that's pretty much it as far as the technology goes and things like that. Now, they're supposed to start rolling out in summer 2025. Like the KD17, it dropped this last summer, so about a year apart, which makes sense. And the retail price will be $150. Now, let me know your thoughts on the KD18. Do you like them, or do you like the KD17 better? A couple new photos popped up of the A Ma Maniere Nike Air Max 95 while you were sleeping, and with these images, a lot of people were upset. They are no longer feeling the shoe, and that is due to the fact that they'll feature a leather build. Now, they might have always featured a leather build, but the images that initially leaked, they were somewhat grainy, it had a filter on them, and it gave the appearance that the shoes were going to be constructed with suede. So when these images popped up, a lot of people got upset. They don't like the leather build. Personally, I still like them a lot. Now, I like them better with suede, or what appeared to be suede, but to me, this is still a pickup. Now, as for the release details, I've been hearing a lot of stuff. I heard October 4th. Obviously, we're past October 4th. That didn't happen. I heard fall in general, which we're now out of fall technically by Nike sportswear standards. But then I'm hearing that there's a possible release in December. So at the time of recording, none of this information is solid. Who knows, even by the time this video goes live, James Whitner and A Ma Maniere can post something saying, hey, we opened the raffle for the Air Max 95, and then we have the release date. So it's kind of been random for the most part, aside from the Air Jordan releases. But other than that, the retail price is $190. Let me know your thoughts on this pair. Are you still feeling them, although they're constructed with leather? This pair is one of my top pickups for holiday 2024, and it's the Nike Air Flightposite 1 Metallic Gold. Now, we haven't seen new images aside from when they were being shown off on the Sneakers Live months back, but we should be getting more photos very soon because we have a potential release date. Now, for those that don't know, this is an OG colorway. I did have this pair back in 1999, so I plan on picking them up when they drop this month. And the only drawback, which in my opinion is a pretty big drawback, lands on the medial side. The midsole, how it comes up onto the upper, it kind of arcs pretty high on the OG pair, and I believe the 2008 version will be much lower, and I have no idea why Nike decided to do that. I think you should have just kept them like the OGs, but I'm not the only one upset about that. I saw a lot of people were as well, but I'm still planning on buying them. I was probably going to buy a lot more colorways of this model if that part is fixed, but now I'm just going to go after OGs. Now, as for the release details, this pair will feature a metallic gold, black, metallic silver, white, and black colorway, and they're expected to drop on October 30th for $240. After we received a first look at the Stash Nike Air Force 1 Low, I had a feeling that Nike was going to do the same to the Nike Air Max 95. Now, some of you may remember that I reported and showed a mock-up of the Stash Air Force 1 Low and the Stash Air Max 95. Although the images were from Nike, it turns out that they decided to go a different route, and that will be the same situation on the Air Max 95 shown here. Now, they're not identical to the OG. Yes, the blocking is, but the biggest difference would be the materials. Now, just like they're doing with the 2024 Air Force 1 Low, the Air Max 95 has been upgraded to feature weather-resistant materials. Now, at the time of recording, we only have the one image, so unfortunately, we can't see the different angles and stuff like that. But I'm a huge fan of the color blocking. I'm also a big fan of the speckled detailing on the black midsole. I think that looks great. Yes, I would have liked to see the OG build return, but this is better, in my opinion, than Nike's initial plans, because the whole color blocking would have been different, but in my opinion, they still look great. Now, at the time of recording, we don't have a release date, but holiday 2024 is when they're expected to drop, and the retail price will be $200. In my opinion, this is one of the best non-OG colorways of the Nike Air DT Max 96. This pair is known as Falcons or Atlanta Falcons, and again, anytime I post a sneaker for Deion Sanders and it's inspired by a team, people, they get upset. Now, it doesn't bother me, but a lot of people were upset because they said Deion Sanders didn't play for the Atlanta Falcons when the shoe came out, so why are they doing an Atlanta Falcons colorway? And the short answer is really because Nike can. Nike and Jordan Brand are known to do tribute shoes to different teams, different eras. I mean, we saw, I believe, the Penny 2 Miami Heat, although Penny didn't play for the Miami Heat when those shoes released. So I think people are just going a little bit overboard, especially on Instagram, because I've been seeing that a lot. Now, for this pair, they'll feature a black, white, team anthracite, metallic silver, and fire red colorway. So as you can see, the shoes resemble the Falcons uniforms. And one of the details that I really like about this shoe is that it features Prime's number 21 on the heels. I think that looks really good. I think the red detailing is just enough. It's not oversaturated like the Love Letter to Connie pair that has a lot of red on it. They're still dope, but this is something that more fits my style and something I want and I plan on going after when they release. Now, speaking of the release, unfortunately, we don't have a specific release date, but they're expected to drop this holiday season. I've heard November 1st, but that isn't 100% confirmed, and the retail price will be $170. Alright, so moving on to Jordan Brand, and we have a new upcoming Air Jordan 39. This pair is being called Half Blue, and the official colorway is Half Blue in Midnight Navy. Now, to me, these kind of have like ice vibes, and they're dropping this holiday season, which kind of makes sense. And just to briefly go over the pair, they feature mostly half blue throughout, which is like a very light shade of blue. And then we have Midnight Navy accents on the toe cap, midfoot clip, and branding throughout. We also have the signature Jumpman on the tongues, Air Jordan lands on the heels, and then the insoles read Air Jordan Type 39. Lastly, we have a milky translucent midsole and matching rubber outsole. these are okay. I like some of the other colorways better, but I just wanted to showcase them. And like I mentioned, holiday 2024 is when they're expected to drop, and the retail price will be $200. We have a new Air Jordan 4 RM colorway, and this one is known as Bred, and that's just due to the colorway, obviously, of black and red. And honestly, it's not a bad colorway. It actually looks nice. Now, it's not your signature Bred colorway. I know Bred actually stands for black and red, but traditionally, like the Air Jordan 4, we have some white, since this model is inspired by the Air Jordan 4. But as you can see, they feature mostly black throughout, and then we have red detailing on the tongue, Nike Air on the heels, and then hinted on the outsole. Now, a lot of people are reporting that these shoes have a hidden bicycle behind the heel tab, and that is correct. However, that's for every Air Jordan 4 RM. If you pull back the heel tab, they'll have like a little bike icon behind it. It also has it on the inside of the box. So although this isn't a Nigel Sylvester collab, it's still paying tribute to cycling and BMX. Now, the images you're looking at is in grade school sizes. So far, it's only confirmed to drop in grade school, although I have a hard time believing that these won't drop in adult sizing. More than likely they will, it's just that these images leaked first and all that info was available first. Now, as for the release date, this pair is expected to drop holiday 2024, and if they do drop only in grade school sizes, the retail price will be $120. So we have more scrapped Air Jordans for 2025, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. I know there's more coming. I don't have 100% confirmation on it, and even these two upcoming models I'm going to talk about, I haven't received confirmation from my sources. However, KicksFinder on Twitter, who is pretty knowledgeable and does have connections as well, they announced that this pair, the Air Jordan 5 Metallic Gold, has been scrapped. Now, just a heads up, the image used is just a mock-up. I had no idea what these were supposed to look like, and it was just based off the colorway, which is metallic gold, brilliant orange, cell, and muslin. Now, I did recently look at a list of a bunch of upcoming releases. These are still on that list. However, things change fast, and it is possible that these have been scrapped. If I'm willing to bet on it, I'm willing to bet that they have been scrapped. Now, 2025 is loaded. We have a ton of releases, and so far, none of the OGs or older retros have been scrapped. None of the collaborations, so that's always a plus. Well, technically there's one collaboration, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. But yeah, unfortunately, these are no longer dropping, but they were supposed to drop summer 2025. Now, this information was kind of a letdown for me, not due to the fact of the colorway or anything like that, but I like the Air Jordan 13 Low, and it's been a while since we've seen a pair release, but the upcoming collaboration with Dongdan on the Air Jordan 13 Low has been scrapped. Now, just a heads up, the image used is just a mock-up. I have no idea what they're supposed to look like, but the official colorway was supposed to be oatmeal, off noir, hemp, coconut milk, monarch, and medium olive. So for those that don't know, Dongdan is a street ball tournament that takes place in Beijing, China. They've done collaborations in the past with Jordan Brand, but for some reason this one isn't going to pan out. Now, I don't know if they have another model lined up, but unfortunately, the Air Jordan 13 Low will no longer be releasing, according to KicksFinder. Again, it's the same situation with the Air Jordan 5 Metallic Gold. I have yet to receive 100% confirmation, although I don't believe I saw these on the updated list. But yeah, once I have more information, I definitely will make sure to let you know. Since I talked about two shoes that were scrapped, I'm going to talk about two upcoming shoes for 2025. And the first one is going to be the Air Jordan 1 High OG Black and Summit White. Now, just a heads up, the image used is just a mock-up. I have no idea what they're supposed to look like. And the official colorway on these is Black, Black, and Summit White. Now, shout out to Sneaker Market RO. He put out this information. And as most of you know, 2025 will celebrate the 40th anniversary of not just Jordan Brand, but the Air Jordan 1. We have the Bred Air Jordan 1 High 85 dropping, the UNC Reimagined, Jordan 1 High OG. I'm sure I'm forgetting other Air Jordan 1s, but those are probably the two top pairs. And what I'm hearing is, according to Mr. Unloved Ones, he says they're going to have some really cool details on them. I haven't seen this pair yet. I should be getting to see them soon, hopefully. But as for the release details, we do have a release date, and that is for June 30th, 2025. So just at the end of summer 2025, Once it hits July, that's part of Jordan Brand's fall releases, and the retail price will be $180. Also, this pair will release in full family sizing. Unfortunately, I don't have the retail price breakdown. For the second pair added into 2025, I can confirm that the Air Jordan 5 Luminous Green will be released. Now, the image used is just a mock-up. I'm not sure how it's supposed to look, but the pair will feature a cell luminous green and anthracite colorway. The Air Jordan 5 will celebrate its 35th anniversary next year. We do have some pretty cool releases. For example, the Black Metallic Reimagined Air Jordan 5, the Air Jordan 5 Grape. Both of those pairs I'm definitely looking forward to. And then we have this pair, which, if they look like the mock-up, it's a pass for me. Also, this will be a women's exclusive release. I really hope they don't look like the mock-up. It's kind of like the fire red Air Jordan 5 with the silver tongue, and then we have some green detailing. So I like the color blocking on that. I'm just not too big of a fan of the green used. Hopefully we see something different, but due to the color description, the pair should be in mostly cell, and then we'll have green and anthracite details. Now, as for the release details, this pair is expected to drop fall 2025, and the retail price will be $200. We now have a first look at the Air Jordan 11 Low Year of the Snake, which will be part of Jordan Brand's Chinese New Year collection. So each year they drop a Chinese New Year collection. There's multiple pairs part of the 2025 collection, but probably one of the standout pairs is the Air Jordan 11 Low. We now have a first look. So the color blocking is pretty simple. It features a summit white, football gray, and black color combination. We have white leather up top, and instead of patent leather on the mudguard, we have snakeskin. Now, if you look closely, it looks like there's different colors within the snakeskin. I'm not sure if that's going to be reflective. I think it actually would be pretty dope if it was reflective or iridescent. That would be pretty nice. Other than that, we have white on the midsole and a milky translucent rubber outsole. Unfortunately, we just have the one image, but we should be getting a better look soon. I would like to see the tongue, the insoles, and a clear shot of the heel. Maybe there's some more details added in for the Year of the Snake. I will say I'm glad that they didn't put a big snake on the side like the Kobe releases. Those, in my opinion, those aren't looking real good to me. But for this pair, they're expected to drop on January 22nd, and the retail price will be $190. Alright, so we have an update on the Air Jordan 10 still. Some people might like this update, some may not, but it looks like they have been delayed. Now, they were expected to drop on May 24th, which would be part of Jordan Brand's Summer 2025 collection. And recently I saw a list, and these were not on the list, and it went up to Summer 2025. So I talked to one of my sources, and he told me that Jordan Brand has delayed this release, and instead dropping in summer 2025 is the Air Jordan 8 Aqua, which we knew about. So they're doing a swap. Now, the bad part about this is that I don't know if they're going to drop fall or holiday 2025. They are coming. It just hasn't been confirmed now which season they're going to be part of. They're also going to release the Air Jordan 10 Shadow, which those will be part of Jordan Brand's fall 2025 collection. So what they may do is they may push the Air Jordan 10 Shadow back to holiday, and then this pair will drop fall, or this pair will either be released during holiday 2025. But personally, I like the still colorway over the shadow, although the shadow is really nice as well. And still, the unfortunate part for a lot of people, they're expected to feature the overlay on the toe cap. Now, I know when Z and I made the announcement on this, a lot of people were upset. They said, why release it with the toe cap? And I do agree with you, because even Michael Jordan didn't like the toe cap. Now, am I still going to buy with the toe cap? Absolutely, yes. But I'd much rather have it without. For those that don't know, the Still 10 has released a total of 3 times. The original release took place in 1994. We saw the first retro take place in 2005, and then the last time they released was in 2013. Also, the whole toe cap story, Tinker originally designed the shoes with the toe cap. They also wound it up going into production. MJ wasn't happy about it. they decided to recall the pair, and they eventually put out the Air Jordan 10 without the extra piece of leather on the toe. Now, even though they recalled it, a lot of people kept them. Some people have them in their collection. I think eventually I'm going to pick them up just as a piece of history because I think it's still dope. But yeah, I'd much rather have a clean toe box. So for the 2025 pair, they'll feature a white, black, and light steel gray colorway. And the retail price should be $210, although that part isn't confirmed. But like always, I'll have more information for you very soon. I know a lot of people have been waiting for some new information on the Air Jordan 12 flu game, specifically a release date. And the information about the shoe has been kind of crazy. It's been all over the place. So for those who have no idea what I'm talking about, originally these were supposed to drop spring 2025. Z and I broke the news months and months ago. And then Jordan Brand decided to scrap the shoes and instead we're going to release the Air Jordan 12 Bloodline. Some people were happy about the look because it was an accurate mock-up of what was supposed to release. But then Jordan Brand went ahead and scrapped that and brought back the original plans of the Air Jordan 12 flu game. So other than that, all we knew is that spring 2025 is when they were supposed to release. So anywhere between January and March. But the good news is we have a release date now, which is currently expected to drop on March 1st. I believe that the Nigel Sylvester Air Jordan 4 collaboration is also supposed to drop on that day, so there's a possibility that that shoe may get delayed. This pair will also feature a black and varsity red colorway, and this pair has released 4 times in the past. So they initially dropped in 1997, Jordan wore them during the 1997 NBA Finals, and in Game 5, which is known as the flu game, that's when he came down with an illness. Even though he was under the weather, he scored 38 points, grabbed 7 rebounds, 5 assists, while playing 44 minutes. He also hit a 3-point shot, sealing the game with 25 seconds left. Now, apparently, he was sick because he ate pizza that is believed to have been altered with. I guess that's the best way to describe it, and he basically had stomach problems. Now, that could still be a stomach virus, and it's still impressive. I'm definitely not taking away from the performance, but every time I talk about the flu game Air Jordan 12, I do need to bring that part up because a lot of people say, well, hey, it wasn't the flu game, or some people will say, even though it was a stomach virus, he still had a virus of some sort. So I'm definitely not taking credit away from him because it's an excellent performance. Now, these are also expected to release in full family sizing, although I don't have the retail price breakdown for grade school, preschool, and toddler just yet, but the retail price in adult sizes will be $210. So March 1st for me is a definite pickup. Really excited about these dropping. Let me know your thoughts down below if you plan on picking up a pair or passing. And that's going to do it for this video. Like always, greatly appreciate you guys for watching. If you have a second and haven't done so already, also appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. One more thing, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you can be alerted every time I drop a new video. Now, speaking of new videos, I expect to drop my Air Jordan 14 Black Toe review tomorrow, although I'm not 100% sure on it. Unfortunately, I couldn't find my OG pair, so that will be left out in that video. But overall, it should be a good video. I think you guys will like it. Definitely would appreciate your support on it. It's been years since I've done a review video like this, and I'm definitely excited to get back to doing them. Now, if I have any troubles, because again, it's been a while since I've done these reviews, then I'll be uploading a short, and then more than likely on Wednesday, I'll drop the review. I also have the Air Jordan 1 High OG Black Toe Reimagined. I plan on doing a video on those as well, so if you'd like to see that, let me know down below. But for this video, let me know what you liked or disliked down in the comment section below. As well, if you have any questions, make sure to leave that down below. Again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to SneakerFiles.com, and if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe.